Hi, I'm Will from FSAS Technologies, and with me today is Nipa Soni from FSAS Technologies.
Hello.
Hi, Nipa is an AI consultant, so lives her world really in artificial intelligence, and today we're going to talk a bit more about bias, because that's a really important topic. So first of all, Nipa, what is bias?
And bias comes in so many different shapes and sizes, for want of a better word. Whether that's your age, whether that's your name, whether that's where you come from, your background. It can have so many different meanings, especially when it comes to AI. Bias is a huge, huge topic and covers a big ground as well.
Yeah. So you've got a toolkit basically
Yes.
to help people. You've developed this over the last few years or so to help people understand bias and how to test for it.
Yeah, correct. So this is something I created a lot in my journey, and I love using this toolkit. In fact, everyone I use it with now swears by it as well, and It's a fantastic tool to use. So let's talk about some of the kit tools within that kit. So one of them is the swap test.
Yeah.
So imagine you are asking an AI a question and you change one thing in that question, whether that's a name, for example, from John to Jamal.
Yeah.
Does the AI change its answer? Or from a his to her? Are you getting a different response from the AI?
Yeah.
And that will tell you very, very quickly if there is bias within that answer. And then you can take other steps to mitigate that bias.
So that's the swap test, and that's a really interesting test to do. And believe me, I'm going to try that myself.
Give it a go.
Another test you do is who loses.
Yeah, so who loses is a really, really cool one. What's the benefit of the answer? Who is benefiting from this particular answer that the AI has generated? Who loses? Who's harmed? Or who could it harm down the line?
Yeah.
And these are all things that we need to think about when we're training a model, setting the right parameters around an AI model. The who loses test is probably the first one that we try. Is it treating a particular group better or worse than another group of people, for example? And that's a really good test to work with.
Okay. And then you have what you call the why button as another test.
So the why button is quite interesting. Why did the AI say what it did? Where has that data come from? Can we track that back into, is there a particular resource that it's used, a particular data set that it's used, and can we then validate that as well? Because that's one of the really key things when it comes to AI, is being able to validate the answer that's it's given out.
And I noticed some of the AI engines now are starting to put reference documentation within the answers.
Yes.
Really useful. But for some that don't, we still need to work out where those facts and figures perhaps have been generated from.
And it comes back to validation. AI is a fantastic tool in so many different ways. What we do as humans, as having a human in the loop at all costs and at every step of the way, we have to be able to sit there and validate. Yeah,
and I think what you say there is actually really valid, and it's worth pointing out. We're looking at some of the issues around AI and how to overcome them, but the benefits to AI are really quite significant, aren't they?
Absolutely. It's a really great thing. Another example of one of the detective toolboxes as well is the confidence test.
Yeah.
You've probably seen it yourself, an AI talking so confidently about a very complex or a very personal situation. Why does it do that?
Yeah.
How is the AI so confident about something so personal to you? Let's talk about love. What is love? If you ask AI that question, it's going to give you one answer probably.
Yeah.
One very straight answer. And I think as humans we need to question, if you ask what is love to several different people, they'll probably give you several different answers. And that's what we need to look at, is why is the AI so confident? And then we retrain that model to say, okay, actually, well, you need to consider XXX.
Because for any prompt you put into AI, you get a very confident and you get a very factual.
Absolutely.
And it reads well.
Yeah.
It looks like it's grounded in facts, and it's quite easy just to go and use that somewhere. But we need to question that a little bit, don't we?
And it's very easy to believe as well. If an AI sounds really confident, and especially on a topic that we're not sure of, if it's a complex task that you're asking it to do, we believe it.
Yeah.
Or should we?
Should always question. And you've got the fix-it prompt, which I think is an interesting test.
The fix-it prompt is a really good one. So the fix-it prompt really helps take that bias out as much as possible and mitigate some of those situations. So what we look at when it comes to the fix-it test is asking the same question in a different way, or asking the AI to be more neutral, taking out stereotypes, for example, and basically rewording the same question and seeing the answers that it comes back with. And you keep doing that over and over again over a number of periods of times, and you're effectively retraining that model to fix maybe the first answer it gave and make it more neutral, make it taking out the stereotypes. And that's a really, really important tool to use as well. If I was to conclude, look, no AI is perfect.
That's right.
Humans are creating the AI. There's no such thing as perfect humans. Otherwise, it'd be a very boring world. But the way we use AI is something that we can control and that we absolutely should have full control of. How do we use AI? Making sure that our data is safe, making sure that our society is safe, and making sure, especially when it comes to education, making sure children are safe.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time today. It was really interesting, just sort of insight into how we can manage bias coming from AI. So really appreciate that. Thank you very much,
Lovely.
Nipa.
Thanks for your time, Will.
Cheers.
Take care.